Hi Amy, this is Chef Gary coming from the demonstration kitchen in the shops of Woodlake in Kohler, Wisconsin. Today we're going to make some grilled venison tenderloin with a cucumber and tomato relish. So we'll get started right away. First off, we have some chipotle peppers, a little bit of chopped garlic. We have the venison tenderloin, just a little bit of salad oil. You can use really whatever oil you have at your home. Olive oil works, canola oil, corn oil. And what we want to do is just take a little bit of the chipotle pepper, and we're going to throw that in the blender right here. So these are pretty hot, so you don't need a whole lot, especially depending on the size of the tenderloin, but usually 1, 2 is plenty. We're going to take a little bit of chopped garlic, a little bit of the oil, and we're going to take just some fresh lemon. Squeeze the juice in there. And we just basically want to just pulse this a few times. Just chop up the pepper. And that's all you really want to do. We'll take that marinade now, place it in a bowl, and we'll take our venison tenderloin, and we're just going to basically take that and coat it. Now the longer you can let it sit in here, the more of that chipotle flavor and lime is going to infuse into that. This is just a real simple relish, a little bit more of a healthy food. Venison is a very lean meat. With that, we're just going to take a little bit of tomato, and we'll take the top off. And we're just going to basically do a small dice on the tomato, the onion, some lime, some cucumber. So we'll take the tomato, throw it in a bowl. Next up, we're going to do a little bit of onion with that. This is just a red onion. Once again, you can really use whatever onion you have around. Green onions work nice, white onions, shallots. Just going to take the skin off. And we're going to do a nice dice on this, basically to go into it. And this is a real quick way to dice an onion. Just do a cut down through it. And in the same way, going this way. And we're going to slice that, and this just gives you a nice uniform dice. You want it to kind of be the same size as your tomato, so not one thing overpowers the other. Now this is just a English cucumber. Take that, and we're going to basically cut this in half. Take your peelings off. Now with a spoon, you can see the seeds are right down the middle. All you're going to do is just basically scrape these right out. From there, then, we're just going to dice it the same way we did the onion and tomato. And we're going to add this to our tomato. Now I have some fresh cilantro we're going to add to this and some lime juice. So, once again, just a rough chop on this. It doesn't have to be too fine. Throw that in there. And then the juice of 1 lime. If you're a big fan of lime, you can put 2 in there. Salsas are one of those great things too that the longer you let it sit a day, even 2, and these flavors will all kind of start to marry you. Tomato and cucumber will soften up a little bit and release some of that flavor. We're going to add a little bit of salt to this as well. And we're just going to kind of gently mix that. So we're just going to let this sit, and we're going to take our tenderloin now. We're going to throw it on the grill. And, you know, venison is one of those meats that you really don't want to overcook it because it's so lean. So we're just going to put it on there. We're going to season that with salt and pepper. We really just want to let that cook, you know, 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Once that's done cooking, the one thing you want to remember when you're working with any type of meat is that you want to let it rest before you cut it. If you don't let it rest, what happens is you'll cut that and you'll see blood will run everywhere. When you're doing that with the blood, that's all the juice on the inside. That's what's going to make it nice and juicy, not dried out. So the longer you can let that rest, a good 3 to 5 minutes, the better. Okay, so the venison is done cooking. We've let it rest a few minutes. Now we're going to slice it up. Now this is one of those great outside barbecue events that you can serve family style, or you could do individual plates of it. We're just going to slice it on the plate, kind of shingle it. We're going to top it with some of the salsa we made earlier with the cucumber and the tomato. And then we're going to hit it with just a nice fresh amount of honey. What that honey is going to do is, because we have some heat on here from the chipotle, and we have a little bit of, if you put jalapeno or anything in your salsa, the honey would be a nice contrast to that. So we got a nice tenderloin, nice medium rare. And we're going to top that with some fresh salsa. And you can just pass this around your table at home. Take a little bit of honey now, and we're just going to drizzle that on there. And there you have it, nice grilled venison with a cucumber and tomato salsa with just a little bit of fresh honey. Great, refreshing, and healthy choice meal.